Hi, welcome back. In this week's chapter assignment, we're going to continue learning how to improve a paragraph. In particular, we're going to talk about some techniques for making your paragraph more clear, more concise, and in general, just easier for your readers to understand what you're saying. One way to make your paragraph more concise is to simply delete, or as I like to say, weed out, any details that are not directly related to the topic sentence of your paragraph. As you start doing more writing, you'll discover that in the early stages of composition, it's easy to drift from your main topic. This is not really a problem in the beginning stages of your first draft because it's always good to get a lot of ideas down on paper as quickly as you can. Just keep in mind that later on, you'll probably want to weed out some of these ideas to make your paragraph more concise. Another way to improve your paragraph is to arrange your supporting details in a logical order. This will make your writing much easier for a reader to comprehend and follow along. First, let's take a look at how to delete unrelated details in a paragraph. Here's an example of a first draft that I wrote. This is called a process paragraph where I explain to a reader how to research bicycles before making a purchase. My main point or topic sentence is, shopping for a new bicycle starts at home. From here I go right into the body sentences of the paragraph. Before you visit your local bike shop, think about which road surface on which you'll spend most of your time riding. Does this sound like it's directly related to the topic sentence? I think it does. How about the next sentence? Some bike shops provide free tune-ups for new customers. Now, this sentence is certainly related to bicycles, but it really doesn't have anything to do with my topic sentence, which is all about shopping for a bike. So I'm going to highlight this as a possible deletion. How about the next sentence? Will you be riding on city streets, paved bike paths, or off-road trails? Since this is a question that people should ask themselves before buying a bike, I'm going to say that yes, this supporting detail is very much related to the topic sentence. How about the next sentence? Then research how bikes are designed for specific road surfaces. Again, this sentence is very much related to the topic sentence, so it also stays. How about most cities have detailed maps of bike paths in your area? Now this sentence is about biking, but it's not directly related to my topic sentence, so I'll highlight this as a possible deletion. How about this sentence? You will discover that manufacturers offer a variety of bicycle styles. The sentence is talking about bicycle manufacturers, so it's definitely related to my topic sentence about shopping for bikes, so it stays. Now let's go ahead and delete the questionable sentences and see how the paragraph looks. Shopping for a new bicycle starts at home. Before you visit your local bike shop, think about which road surface on which you'll spend most of your time riding. Will you be riding on city streets, paved bike paths, or off-road trails? Then research how bikes are designed for specific road surfaces. You will discover that manufacturers offer a variety of bicycle styles. That sounds much better. Now let's take a look at how organization can help make your paragraph more clear and concise. Now keep in mind that a paragraph can be organized in 3 different ways. You can organize a paragraph by time, you can organize a paragraph by space, and you can organize a paragraph by importance. Let's take a closer look at each of these. When we organize by time, we're talking about a paragraph that explains a sequence of events, or in other words, a paragraph that tells a story. Organizing your paragraph by time is the perfect choice when writing about anything that includes a sequence of events. When we organize by space, we're talking about a paragraph that describes a place, a person, or a thing. The paragraph often refers to the senses in its supporting details, like how something looks, sounds, or smells. Organizing your paragraph by space is the perfect choice when writing about anything you want to describe to your reader in vivid detail. When we organize by importance, we're talking about a paragraph that makes its point gradually, by starting with the smaller details first and then building up to the most important detail at the end. Organizing your paragraph by importance is the perfect choice when writing to persuade or convince a reader to see your point of view. In writing and composition terms, this is called an argument. This type of paragraph also uses specific transition words to help the reader understand what the author is talking about, like above all, more important, one reason, and especially. In your textbook, you'll find some great examples for improving your paragraph using the techniques I've just mentioned. For this week's reading assignment, I have an essay by Leila Ajaralu. Ajaralu is a product designer and an environmental strategist, which means her work is all about getting businesses and government agencies to think about sustainability when creating new products and services. You'll learn more about what that means when you read her essay. Ajaralu's biggest question to business and government is, are we finding the right solutions to the environmental problems we're facing? For example, in Ajaralu's essay, one of her main points is, the problem is we're not looking at the complete picture. And one of the supporting details that she provides to back up this claim is, to make a paper bag, we need to first extract that material from something else. And in many cases, it's the extraction process that causes the most damage to the environment. Another main point in Ajaralu's essay is, food waste is a big problem, which she follows up with this supporting detail. Nearly half of the food bought in the U.S. is wasted. I blame that on the refrigerator. Imagine if we designed fridges half the size. As you read through the essay, see if you can find other main points that Ajaralu makes and the supporting details she provides to back up those statements. Then let me know what you think about the essay. Do you agree or disagree with the author? Is there anything that Ajaralu left out of the essay that would have helped her argument? In what ways does this essay relate to your own experience? I've also included a link to a video where Ajaralu speaks at a TED Talks conference about her work. The grammar workshop for this week is all about something called parallelism. Now don't let the word scare you. This is just a fancy name for making your sentences sound more balanced and organized. Some of the sentences you'll write in a paragraph might include what's called a series of items, where each item is separated by a comma. For example, the ball rolled across the floor, over the rug, and down the steps. The items in the series are across the floor, over the rug, down the steps. In grammatical terms, this sentence is parallel, and that's because each item in the series has a similar structure that uses prepositions. Now, if you remember from grammar school, a preposition is a word that describes a location. Notice the prepositions used in this sentence: across, over, down. The consistency here helps keep the structure of the sentence parallel. Now let's take a look at what can go wrong when you break that consistency and the sentence is no longer parallel. The ball rolled across the floor, the rug, going down the steps. Notice how this sentence sounds awkward and clunky. That's because the sentence is no longer parallel. Can you spot where the problem is? Sometimes the error can be a little tricky to see. That's why I like to use this simple method for identifying faulty parallelism in a sentence. First, identify the leading phrase of the sentence. In this example, the leading phrase is, the ball rolled. Now place the sentence lead in front of each item and read the combined phrases together, like this. The ball rolled across the floor. The ball rolled the rug. The ball rolled going down the steps. Do some of these phrases sound awkward to you? If this had been a parallel sentence, each of these phrases would have sounded much like a complete sentence. Because they don't, this tells us that some of the items may need to be changed. In this example, the first item sounds fine to me. However, the second and third items do not. And that's because they're missing a preposition. So let's rewrite the phrases using prepositions and see how they sound. The ball rolled across the floor. The ball rolled over the rug. The ball rolled down the steps. That sounds much better. Now let's put the sentence back together and see how it sounds. The ball rolled across the floor, over the rug, and down the steps. Another common error in parallelism is to write items that use inconsistent tense. That means some of the words in this series might refer to the past, while others refer to the present or future. For example, last year Andy moved to Marshalltown, enrolls in school, and starts a new job. Can you spot the problem here? If we read the sentence lead with each item, it's a little easier to identify the inconsistency. Last year Andy moved to Marshalltown. Last year Andy enrolls in school. Last year Andy starts a new job. Notice how some of the phrases are referring to both the past and the present. That's an error in parallelism, which is fairly easy to fix simply by changing the tense so everything matches. Last year Andy moved to Marshalltown. Last year Andy enrolled in school. Last year Andy started a new job. Now let's put the sentence back together. Last year Andy moved to Marshalltown, enrolled in school, and started a new job. Another way to create parallelism in a sentence is to be consistent in the use of gerunds. Again, if you remember from grammar school, a gerund is the ing that comes at the end of a word, like walking, talking, sleeping, thinking. In the next example, let's see if we can correct an error in parallelism by using the gerund. This summer Andy is playing baseball, works at Walmart, and taking 2 classes. Just as we did earlier, let's identify the sentence lead and then pair it up with each item to see how it sounds. This summer Andy is playing baseball. This summer Andy works at Walmart. This summer Andy is taking 2 classes. Notice how the first and last examples sound fine, but the second example, this summer Andy works at Walmart, sounds awkward and broken. We can easily correct this parallelism error simply by adding a gerund, like this. This summer Andy is working at Walmart. Now let's put the sentence back together. This summer Andy is playing baseball, working at Walmart, and taking 2 classes. That's much better. The worksheet I've provided you in this week's module will give you a chance to practice identifying errors in parallelism and then use the techniques I've just described to correct the problem. Well, that's it for this week. Let me know if you have any questions about the assignments. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.